Okay, today we're looking at loan repayment tables. Published loan repayment tables, such as this one, enable repayments for reducing balance loans to be easily calculated. We looked in the first exercise on reducing balance loans and we were working it out step by step, but we want to make sure that you know how to use the table also. So this table gives the monthly repayments for a reducing balance loan of $1,000 for various terms and interest rates. So it says monthly repayments per $1,000 borrowed. The term is in years. And then we've got the interest rates. So, for example, if for 5 years we had an interest rate of 4.5% and $1,000 was borrowed, then the monthly repayment will be $18.64. So the Turners borrowed, instead of $1,000, $570,000 at 5% per annum reducible interest for a term of 20 years. Find the following. Find their monthly repayment. So the monthly repayment, total monthly repayment, would be equal to, let's look at 5%, sorry, other way around, 5%, 20 years, $6.60. So that's for, if $1,000 was borrowed, that would be the monthly repayment. But now $570,000 was borrowed, so you would need to times this by 570. So $6.60 times 570 would give you $3,762. Next, that's the monthly repayment for $570,000 borrowed. Okay, so the total amount to be repaid. So how much is repaid if monthly repayments of this is being made for 20 years? For 20 years. Then the total repaid, we would need to multiply 3,762 by how many months those repayments were made for. So we've got 20 years, and so to find that in months, we times that by 12. So $3,762 times 20 times 12 months, 240 months. So that is going to equal $902,880. So for a $570,000 loan, the total repaid was $902,880. Okay, clearly we ended up paying a very large amount of interest, and that's what they're asking us to calculate next, which you find by subtracting the two. So the interest paid is equal to how much you ended up paying through your monthly repayments, subtracted by the amount that was borrowed, and that ends up being $332,880. So there's the interest. Next question, how much more interest? Find out how much more interest they would pay if the loan was over 25 years instead of 20. So what would be the interest if you decided to pay for a longer amount of time? So 25 years, we need to go back to the table. 25 years, the same rate, monthly repayment reduces to $5.85, but for a longer period of time. So $5.85. So the monthly repayment, let's start off by calculating that first, is equal to $5.85 times, because that's only for every $1,000 borrowed, but remember we're borrowing $570,000. So we times that by 570, and then we should get $334 and 50 cents. So already you can see that, yeah, of course, we're paying less in terms of the monthly repayment. Now, what we need to do with this is we need to figure out the total amount that is repaid over 25 years. So we're paying that much per month. So over 25 years, the total repaid will be equal to the monthly repayment times the 25 years times 12, because that's how many months. So 25 years is 25 times 12 months, and that will total $1,350,000. So over 25 years, that is how much is paid in comparison to, remember, the total repaid over 20 years was that much. And so over a longer period of time, you clearly do end up paying more interest. And let's finally answer the question. So the difference in interest, the difference in interest over the 25-year loan and the 20-year loan, you can just subtract the total repaid, which is the 902, and that should give you $97,470. So there's the difference in the interest paid. You can calculate the interest in this case by, again, subtracting from $570,000 and then subtracting the two answers, but either way you get the same result. And that's loan repayments.